Gentleman yields. The chair now recognizes the ranking member of the full committee, Mr. Pallone, for 5 minutes for an opening statement.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Mr. Secretary, for being here. And good to see Gary as well. Congratulations. For the past 6 months, the Trump administration has created chaos within our health system by canceling funding grants, rescinding billions of dollars in obligated funding, firing thousands of civil servants, and eliminating entire agencies and programs within HHS. Today's hearing is important because it finally provides us the opportunity to get some answers from Secretary Kennedy. But for months, we've been demanding answers on the administration's actions that seriously threaten the health and well-being of the American people. And many of these actions have been illegal, but Secretary Kennedy has refused to provide this committee any justifications for his actions, and I find that unacceptable. I express deep concerns with your nomination, Secretary Kennedy, and somehow, unfortunately, you've exceeded my expectations in the worst possible ways. You're actively undermining vaccines, the greatest public health achievement in modern history. Earlier this month, you unilaterally fired all 17 members of the Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices, the medical experts who developed vaccine recommendations, and appointed 8 anti-vaccine people. It's clear that you do not intend to uphold the commitments you made to the Senate during your confirmation process to not take away people's access to vaccines. Instead, I believe you intend to use your position to advance your dangerous pseudoscience agenda and put the lives of Americans, as especially children, at risk. The chaos has not been limited to vaccines. The Trump administration cut nearly $3.8 billion in grants from the National Institutes of Health, creating extreme uncertainty for medical researchers across the country and threatening future medical innovation. Things are so chaotic at NIH that more than 340 of its top scientists signed a letter to the NIH director detailing unprecedented waste, abuse, and illegality at NIH under the Trump administration. And this was an unprecedented action by these employees who must feel they have no other options at this point other than to go public. In addition to widespread grant cancellation, tens of thousands of civil servants have been fired across HHS. And Secretary, you've claimed that these staffing cuts have not interfered with program operations, but we know for a fact that that's not true. Entire offices and centers have been eliminated because there's no staff left to run them. Grantees and stakeholders can't get answers to their basic program questions. Staff at FDA and CDC have been brought back just to keep programs running, and deadlines at FDA are being missed. And these decisions have been made indiscriminately without any regard, in my opinion, for their impact on the health and well-being of the American people. And now, Secretary Kennedy, you've proposed a budget for the upcoming fiscal year that includes drastic and devastating cuts to our health agencies. The administration proposes a 54% cut to the CDC, threatening the agency's ability to protect the health of the American people. It proposes a 20% cut to NIH, which will seriously threaten our ability to conduct medical research into new life-saving treatments and cures. And it proposes an 11% cut to the FDA, decimating our ability to approve safe and effective drugs and medical products and keep our food supply safe. The Secretary has also proposed a reorganization of HHS that would not only eliminate important programs, but entire agencies like SAMHSA. And this action will seriously undermine our ability to continue to make progress against the opioid crisis. And all these actions decimate our public health infrastructure, and they come at the same time that Republicans are pushing their big, ugly bill that would take health care away from 16 million Americans so they can give giant tax breaks to their billionaire friends. The Republican bill is the largest health care cut in American history, ripping health care away from tens of millions of Americans, increasing costs on everyone else, and forcing the closure of hospitals and nursing homes. It'll have dire consequences for our entire healthcare system, and I believe people will die. Now, there's a lot to cover today at this budget hearing, but I just want to say I do believe the Secretary must appear here again very soon for an oversight hearing on the unprecedented and troubling chaos he's created at the vaccine panel and its impacts on people's access to life-saving vaccines. These disturbing actions warrant investigation. I hope Chairman Guthrie will join us in getting answers on behalf of the American people. I have about a half a minute left. Let me just say, I don't say any of these things, Mr. Secretary, out of any, not liking you in some way. And I know I probably shouldn't say this, but, President Kennedy was my hero when I was growing up. RFK, I worked on his campaign before he was assassinated. Joe Kennedy was my friend, had the office next to me when I was first elected. Patrick Kennedy, still a friend. the younger Joe Kennedy was a member of our committee. I thought did a great job. You know, I admire you. I admire your family. I admire your work that you did on the environment. But it's just very upsetting at this point to me. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Gentlemen.